Hi, everyone. Hello from me and Zoe. She's right here. You may have noticed, well, not you may have noticed, earlier today I posted on Instagram and all of my other social medias, including YouTube, asking you guys what you thought the biggest issues facing Airsoft were. So I got a lot of comments from a lot of people, and I'm going to go ahead and just start talking about it. Are you over it already, Zoe? So I think one of the biggest things that I saw a lot of people commenting on, or a hot button issue that is always referenced, is that people really don't like the prevalence of cheater videos in Airsoft, and how channels can grow exponentially based off of uploading just cheater videos. My opinion on that is that's more your fault. And the reason I say that is because YouTubers upload and YouTube promotes content based on what gets viewed a lot, what gets a lot of comments. And airsofters are always sharing, always talking about, always uploading cheater videos. So if you don't want to see cheater videos in your feed, then stop watching them. That's really the easiest way for us to curb this whole cheater video trend that is happening in Airsoft. The only way that we can really curb that is to not watch, not endorse cheater videos. Now, I mean, we've all made them, and I know it's definitely really tempting to make them sometimes, because there definitely are blatant cheaters out there. But in my opinion, it doesn't happen as often as is portrayed in Airsoft. So some channels literally only upload cheater videos almost exclusively. And I don't think that cheating in Airsoft is actually that big of a problem. Of course it's a problem, but I don't think it's as big of a problem as we have with other issues in Airsoft. So yeah, I mean, cheating is always going to be a thing in Airsoft. Cheating is a problem in literally every sport, hobby, what have you. And so, in my opinion, the best way for us to not have such a large prevalence of cheater videos is to stop watching them. So, stop watching cheater videos. Stop clicking on them. It's your fault. All right, so let me go ahead, and I'm going to take some comments from both Instagram and YouTube, and we will talk about them. Another popular one was immature kids ruining it and immature people ruining it. Oh, prevention, never forget Airsoft gone physical, right? Like, why would you want to promote? There's no way people are going to get into a hobby if you're promoting literally the worst things about our hobby. What is going to make people want to be involved in Airsoft if we are doing nothing but promoting all of the worst aspects of our hobby? I mean, that's silly to me. So stop watching those videos and stop sharing them, and stop encouraging those YouTubers, I guess. Yeah, people getting in, that also kind of piggybacks onto the next thing I want to talk about, which a lot of people also brought up on both YouTube and on Instagram, on Facebook. This is a comment that I saw across the platforms, and it is people taking Airsoft too seriously. We all know that happens a lot. I mean, there's people that think that they're operators. There's people that think that because they play Airsoft all the time, they're ready for the boogaloo. There's people that get, I guess, a little too into the operator, a little too into the operator role, and kind of refuse to acknowledge that anyone that is not on what they perceive to be their level. They think that, oh, just because little Timmy is running a cross draw vest and is 5 feet tall, then he can't possibly have hit me because I am a seasoned operator of Airsoft who has been playing for over 5 years or whatever it is. I think that we tend to let those people kind of get out of control, or field owners can kind of tend to let those people get a little too into it because they appreciate how many people that those people may bring in, or they might be regular players. I see this a lot. Fields or event promoters are really hesitant to either kick out people that are taking it too seriously or what have you, because those are people that are there every weekend or all the time. And so field owners have a really hard time figuring out how to handle it, I guess you could say. And I honestly would like to hear from you guys in the comments. How do you think that we can stop this from happening? Like, how do we stop getting people to take Airsoft too seriously? Because I honestly don't know how to do that other than just continually making fun of them, which is probably not great advice. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I'm not sure. And honestly, the only thing that I have found is to make fun of those people that are taking Airsoft too seriously. Milsim West does a great job of addressing. They make everyone take this little pledge at the beginning of the game that's like, I am a silly Airsofter that plays silly war games. I'm at a fabulous party with all of my fabulous friends, and we're all wearing fabulous costumes. I will not get bad about Airsoft. I will not be a dick. I mean, that's obviously not exactly what it is, but it's kind of close. And I think that really helps people to kind of bring the level down to, okay, this isn't like a boogaloo practice time. This is seriously just a LARP with my friends. We're all wearing these costumes. We're all playing with toys. And I think that's something that really needs to be emphasized more and more, because there's a lot of people that kind of, I guess, just take it way, way, way too seriously. And I guess are out there to prove something to someone. And if you're on the field to prove your masculinity or your ability to be an operator at an Airsoft game, that's weird. At least I think it's a little weird. I don't see the point in proving yourself on the Airsoft field. The point of Airsoft is to have fun. Now, of course, I am a person that in some sense, I want to prove myself because I want to show that I'm a competent Airsofter. I can play well. I can perform tactically. And that is partially just to get rid of a lot of stereotypes that people have about women. And it also feels good to perform well on the field, but it's also very important to remember that this is just a game. We're all basically playing pretend for a weekend. And really the thing that I think we need to embrace as a community more so is we need to get more into Airsoft is about who is the best at pretending. Who pretends the best, who has the most ridiculous death, who has the coolest costume, who is the best sport on the field. And I think that is what is going to really help Airsoft more so than the people that are out there to prove they're a super serial operator. A few of you are talking about Corey Stewart said a good way to remind people that it's just a game is to pick kind of ridiculous game types. And I agree with that. I think that's a good idea. It's good to kind of mix in some ridiculousness in with Airsoft to keep reminding people that this is just a game that we're all playing together, and it's something that we do as like an outlet for creativity and an outlet for fun. It's not an outlet to boogaloo train. That's just ridiculous. Zoe looks like she's ready for bed. Yeah, she's just not getting enough attention, you know. I let her, she was like trying to get up on the couch when I was setting up this live stream. So I figured I should probably just go ahead and let her on the couch because she always gets jealous of the camera whenever I'm talking to you guys. Doggo totally isn't spoiled, right? Yeah. We've only dropped like what, almost 10 grand on her in the past month on chemo. Okay, let's go back to some more comments, and I should steal some from YouTube since that's where we're all watching this from. Some of the biggest issues, and a few people commented this. This is from Kenobi. We got to get rid of the bang bang rule, at least at big games. I get it. You want to make it better for younger players, but eventually they just got to get used to getting shot from up close. Totally agree. I think the bang bang rule causes way more problems than it solves. If you are hosting a game with a lot of younger players, then maybe you need to have like, for instance, SC Village has, whenever they're hosting games, they will break the players up into veteran players and new players. So I understand for like new players, young players, they might not want to get shot up close. They're probably not ready for it. I wouldn't have wanted to get like lit up close when I was first playing Airsoft. So I totally understand that. But I think we need to do a better job of dividing new players from veteran players for certain events, and especially at skirmishes. And then at large scale events, especially milsim events, I see absolutely zero point in a bang bang rule. The whole point of Airsoft is to shoot each other and get shot and then die dramatically. So if you're playing Airsoft and you're mad about getting shot, it's kind of a problem. Now, of course, we don't want to be a dick, and I think it's really easy to mitigate that and just say, hey, don't be a dick. And then if someone is obviously like shooting people up close intentionally, repeatedly, then they should get kicked off the field. They should get booted from that organization, whatever it may be. But I've honestly not really seen a problem with anyone in my 7 years of playing. I haven't really seen any major problems of people that are out there just to shoot a lot of people at close range. Like, that's definitely not the point of Airsoft. And if you're wanting to do that, you should probably talk to a therapist rather than play Airsoft. And like a few people are pointing out here in the comments, especially if you're at a milsim, the whole point of a milsim is military simulation. And what is realistic at all about coming around a corner and saying bang, bang? Like, that definitely would not work in war. That wouldn't work in like any situation. If a robber broke into my house and came around the door and I just got out my gun and was like, bang, bang, you're dead. Oh, and it's not like he's going to be like, okay, I guess we'll go find another house to rob. Like, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I think that there's a way around the bang bang rule, and I hope that more fields can maybe figure that out, because I have played at lots of places that does not have the bang bang rule, and gameplay just goes so much better because there's no arguing about you were too close, you were under 10 feet, you were over 10 feet, I said bang bang first, I didn't hear you say it, whatever it may be. It just, yeah, like everyone else said, it just always causes problems, and it doesn't really do doesn't really do a lot of good, in my opinion. Another comment from YouTube. This is from Jason Baugh. 2 issues that seem to be happening over here in the UK are headshots and uses of a certain type of ghillie suit on the headshot issue. I think it's ridiculous that there is a problem. If you wear the proper protection, there shouldn't be a problem. If you don't, then it's your problem. Certain sites over here are starting to ban the Kicking Mustang concealment system because it's too good. I would like to have your opinion on this sort of thing. And do you have similar issues? We definitely don't have any issues with fields banning ghillie suits for being too good or concealing too well. That sounds kind of ridiculous. I feel like maybe there's a little more to that story. Kicking Mustang really does like to be controversial all the time in everything that he does. So it's very easy for me to understand why there are fields that maybe have issues with him. But that being said, I have hung out with him. We played Airsoft with him when we were there in the UK, had fun with him. So I have nothing bad to say about Kicking Mustang. I just know that he is a person that loves controversy. So it doesn't surprise me that there continues to be controversy around him because that's what he likes to promote. As far as Airsoft goes or headshots go, I think complaining about headshots is really stupid also. Like there is all kinds of protective equipment that you can wear. There's helmets, there's full face masks. You can have your entire head covered if you are worried about getting shot in the head at an Airsoft game. And if you don't cover your head or if you don't cover your face, then it's your own fault if you get shot there. And a lot of times that is the only thing that is presentable. That's the only thing that's showing. So that's the only thing there is for you to shoot. Or if you are a sniper, then and you're shooting bolt action, I know this is an issue with snipers everywhere. They have a lot of issues with people maybe not calling hits because they're shooting from such a long distance, or they might not feel it, or it's just like one dink. And so they're like, oh, maybe no one saw it. I can get away with it. A whole multitude of reasons as to why people might not initially call their hits from snipers. And I think they're validated in shooting you in the head from a distance. Let me emphasize that. I think they are validated in shooting you in the head from a distance because that is a place where you are most likely going to call hit. It's very obvious when you're hit in the head. You can hear it or you can feel it. It's very audible. So it makes sense to me why when you're aiming from a distance and why when you only have one shot that you would aim for someone's head, because you want them to call it. It's definitely really frustrating when you're shooting at someone from a distance and they're not calling it because either the impact isn't hard enough or they don't know where you are or they're not feeling it because maybe you're hitting them in an area where they have loose clothing. I also really get super annoyed with people that complain about getting shot in the head or getting shot in the face or whatever it is. Again, the point of Airsoft is to shoot each other. So if you get mad about getting shot in a game where the point is to shoot at each other, you have some problems. Like you have to realize that is the point of the game. And if you don't want to get shot in the face, wear face protection. That's what I do. I don't like getting shot in the face. So I wear either a full paintball mask with head protection. So that way, if I get shot in the head, it won't hurt as much. Or I will wear eye pro with full face pro and a helmet or a hat or something else. If you don't want to get shot in the face, wear face protection. It's really that simple. And I don't think that field owners, event promoters, anyone else should have to cater to people because they are too stupid to wear face pro. Like, if you're too stupid to wear a face pro, that is your problem. You shouldn't get mad at someone else because you're not doing your part. That's my opinion on that. All right, let's take one. I'm going to go back to Instagram now. There were a lot of comments on Instagram, so I'm going to go back there and see if I can find one of the more popular comments. We talked about immature people ruining the game. That's also something that I think we need to be better at policing. So if you see your friends being jerks to other people or yelling at other people, we need to do a much better job as players of policing those people. So when you see people being jerks to each other on the field, stop that behavior and don't encourage that behavior. That's really the only way we can prevent people being shitty to each other. Like, we have to police each other, and it's up to us. The fields, the referees can't be around us all the time. Field owners can't be around us all the time. Event promoters can't be around us all the time. And frankly, I don't think it's necessarily their job to stay on people constantly. They shouldn't have to do that. We should also contribute. Of course, we should let them know. And of course, they should boot people if they're being jerks. But we need to make it a little bit more normal to treat each other well on the field and to only promote behavior where we are treating each other well on the field. And I think a lot of that does go with just, we need to be better to each other and police each other. I see a lot of comments about Zoe. For those of you that don't know, she is undergoing chemo right now because she was diagnosed with lymphoma about a month ago. She hadn't been eating or anything very much, and she's definitely doing a lot better now. She just likes a lot of attention. She gets really spoiled. I hand feed her all the time. Yeah, she's getting treats, but she's eating a lot better, and she's doing a lot better overall. So we go weekly for chemo appointments, and we have her next appointment next Tuesday, I believe. So yeah, everybody, if you're into dogs, say a little prayer for Zoe that she gets better. Her chemo is going into remission, though. Yay! We just have to keep doing it, which is expensive, but it's worth it because she's the best. Here is another one. When people don't listen to the rules, or when people aren't listening to the game brief or the rules, that is also a huge trigger for me. Oh my goodness. I hate when people are constantly talking during the game brief. I see it everywhere I play, literally everywhere I play. People are talking during the game brief or during the safety brief because they're like, oh, I already know it and I know these rules, so I don't have to pay attention. But that's not the case, because a lot of times during the safety brief or during the game brief, if you're talking, then the person next to you also can't hear what the person next to you or the person next to them or whatever else it is. They can't hear what's going on, so they miss it. And that happens to me a lot, and I get really frustrated because people will either come up and talk to me, or they will be trying to gossip with each other, or just gossip in general during the brief, and I can't hear what's going on, and it drives me freaking crazy. So that's another thing that really we have to prevent. Refs can continue to like publicly shame people for talking. I think that's totally fine, and I think it should happen. But yeah, guys, we have to police each other too. So like, if someone's trying to talk to you during a game brief or during a safety brief, you have to tell them to shut up. My friends can attest that I do that all the time because that is one of my huge pet peeves. And I think it's really disrespectful to the field owners, to the event promoters, to the refs, to be talking while they're trying to give briefs and of any sort is just really, really disrespectful. And Airsoft is supposed to be a game of honor. So we should be a little more respectful of our refs, and especially refs, guys. Refs are so underpaid for like the work that they do. And that's because there's not a lot of money to be spread around in airsoft in general. And so refs are making minimum wage, and they're out there getting shot repeatedly. They're having to deal with all of these crappy players. They're having to deal with people talking or being disrespectful. So it's easy to understand why they would get frustrated, or why maybe refs won't last as long, because they're constantly having to deal with people not giving them just basic human respect. So let's I think the whole moral of this live stream is we need to police each other, and we need to be nicer. I think that covers a lot of it. That also goes back to another comment that I saw on Instagram, and I saw here on YouTube and on Facebook, was people talking about people bringing up drama in airsoft, maybe personal drama, and publicly flaming each other, or airing all their dirty laundry in groups, whatever that is. And of course, I know all about that, because people like to flame me all the time on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook groups. Of course, I'm constantly like getting flamed in a lot of those groups. And I think we have, for a long time, supported and embraced kind of an edge culture. And that really does nothing beneficial for airsoft, as far as I'm concerned, because no one is going to want to join a hobby or continue to stay in a hobby that is constantly toxic. And that is a reason that a lot of people quit hobbies, because the toxicity of new players, or the toxicity of people on the internet. And these people on the internet are usually people that are not playing airsoft, or they're not really that involved actively, physically within their community. All they're doing is spending literally like all of their time on the internet, talking about people, spreading rumors, making up conspiracy theories. Oh man, I've heard so many ridiculous conspiracy theories about both myself and Jet, and really anyone else that is actively involved within airsoft. It's it's really entertaining. And I think it is up to us as people who are active online and on the internet or on the field. We just need to do, again, a much better job of policing each other, making sure that others aren't being jerks to each other. There is definitely a line between like publicly shaming someone that deserves it, like someone that is actively breaking the rules, or talking when there's a game brief going on, or just basically overtly and openly breaking rules. It's okay to shame those people and talk about it, because sometimes that's the only thing that works for some people. But just because you think that you're hitting someone from 100 feet away during the heat of the moment doesn't mean you need to go up and like flame them online, or if someone got a sponsorship that you think you deserve, there's no need to go and flame them online. You're really just creating this culture of toxicity within airsoft that is just going to make a lot of people quit. And it also will not do anything for you. So sponsors are not going to want to work with you. Fields aren't going to want you to come there. You're just eventually just going to get edged out of airsoft, and then you're going to be even more mad, which I see happen all the time. People get really upset because they feel that they've been wronged in some way by someone, or by a sponsor, or by a field, or by another player. And so they air all their dirty laundry online. And really all that does is make field owners, sponsors, everyone else in Airsoft aware of you and aware of the fact that you're probably not a great person if that's how you decide to take care of your business rather than acting like an adult. So that's my main advice. I think the overarching theme of this, as with everything else, has been like, we need to do a better job of policing each other, being better people, and not putting up with crappy players or crappy people in general. Yeah. What do you guys think? Let me look. Oh, here's another good one from Instagram. It's talking about the FPS limits for indoor fields. And they brought up that in Japan, FPS limits are a lot lower. And so that really encourages more people to play Airsoft. And I totally agree with that. I think that is why Airsoft is really popular in Japan. I think that is why Airsoft has grown exponentially in a lot of other countries, because in most other countries outside the US, the FPS limit is much lower than it is in America. And I think it makes it much easier for new players to get involved, because when you go play your first game, you obviously don't want to get lit up and like bloodied. Like, oh wait, here, there's some of mine. I have some like all the way up my arm from this cheater. Funny story. But people don't want that to happen for their first time playing Airsoft. And a lot of girls don't want that to happen. I've seen a few comments in the chat about people talking about how women are treated in Airsoft. And I think a good way to get more girls into Airsoft is if we lower FPS limits for indoor games. A few fields have started to maybe do that, and I think that is a really good move. It's much more conducive to newer players who are usually going to an indoor game for the first time. There's usually younger players at indoor games, and there's really no need for you to have a super high FPS when you're shooting indoors, because you're shooting each other generally very close. So there's really no reason for you to have a high FPS, in my opinion, when you're playing indoor games. So the indoor facilities that have started to embrace lower FPS limits, I think, are really helping Airsoft and will likely get more people to get in the game, because it's a lot easier. You can wear a lot cooler costumes and all kinds of other things. It's just overall more enjoyable for the majority of people when they're not getting like bloodied up. Got a donation from Future Phase Peak for $7.99. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. I don't know what fax means, but thanks. Or maybe you're telling me I'm speaking the truth. I'm spitting the truth. Yeah, totally. Also, I want to hear what do you guys think about lower FPS limits? I really hope that it gets embraced. I hope we see a lot more of it. Battle Lab does it. Hopefully some more fields will start embracing that, because yeah, it makes it a lot more easy to cosplay, which is fun within Airsoft. And it doesn't hurt as much, and more newer players are going to come and play if it doesn't hurt so much when you get shot. Okay. I think I covered like a lot of like the big main things. I've been streaming now for about half an hour. I don't want to go too long because I know that you guys all have things to do tonight. I have things to do too. And so I basically just wanted to talk about a few of the hot button issues. Lastly, I will go to there's all kinds of good comments here though. What do you guys think? Should I keep streaming? Leave a comment right now. Let me know if you're bored or if we should keep streaming for another 15 minutes. And while you do that, I will talk about if someone shoots you while you're being revived with a bandage, 10-second touch, tourniquet, etc., you forgo the bandage and turn to red mist auto respawn. What? I don't get it. But in that whole vein, I think that people reviving each other while they're getting bandaged happens a lot. That's definitely a problem in airsoft. If you're getting revived uh, and you're getting shot, that doesn't work like that. Like if you were getting revived by a medic on the field in a real situation and you were getting shot, you would die. And that's what should happen. You should walk like this person said on Instagram. You should just walk back to respawn or your casualty collection point, whatever it may be. If you're getting shot while you're getting medicked, that's a no-go. And if you continue that, then you're cheating. Tristan Art and Airsoft, $5. Hope this helps Zoe. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Yes, it will. I've got a whole Zoe fund like set aside for her. And if any of you have donated, I post weekly on the GoFundMe page that is for Zoe, and I post updates with transparency of like all of the bills and everything else. So you can see updates on her and where all that money is going to if you go to the GoFundMe. All right, a lot of people said to keep streaming, so I guess we'll keep streaming. Ooh, here's a good one. Fields and businesses recovering from COVID restrictions and the hobby maintaining itself if there is a 2021 economic downturn and less disposable income to go around. Yes, definitely a huge problem during the COVID era has been small businesses having to get shut down. That's been awful for everyone. And I think the only good news that I can give you guys from that is now we have a vaccine. Hopefully it will start making the rounds and we will not have to have all of these lockdowns because people will not basically be kind to each other. The good news is that I've read a lot of reports that say economists are forecasting that in 2021 and moving forward, basically once we don't have to have these mandates to get people to be kind to each other, once coronavirus is kind of under control, then the economy is expected to make like a huge comeback. They're anticipating that it will be much like the actual Roaring 20s, where we had a huge depression, and then there was a whole period of economic growth, and that is because a lot of people will be going back to work. They'll have money to spend. I've seen a lot of people spending a lot of money during COVID too with online shopping. So while that hasn't helped small businesses, hopefully in 2021, whenever it is that we have COVID under control, freaking please be 2021. Oh my goodness. Whenever that's under control, there will be a lot more economy. There'll be a lot more businesses because there'll be more jobs. There'll be a lot more people working, which will in turn put a lot more money back into the economy. And so hopefully that also transfers over to Airsoft and a lot of people start playing, which actually we've seen. We have, if any of you have heard of Desert Fox Airsoft events, Desert Fox, my husband, and I, along with the owners of Milsim West, host an event company called Desert Fox Events. And it is like Milsim Light. It's kind of a casual Milsim with an app that lets you play in an augmented reality. We have set up a few games and announced a few games for the future, and there have already been a lot of people signing up for those, so that's a good thing. Hello, Jet.
Hello.
People were asking where you were. Here he is.
Sorry, I had to take a phone call.
That's okay. You're here to do the important work of petting Zoe. It's very important work. And since you're here, let's talk about, and we're talking about problems in Airsoft. You made a post today on the internet that got a lot of people talking.
Yeah.
And his post was essentially saying that Airsoft companies should not refer to or advertise their guns as being combat or lethal
Well, maybe
or
not combat.
combat's
but like,
okay.
there,
What was
there's
it? It was lethal or
lethal,
deadly. Deadly. Like you shouldn't. Yeah.
Weapon is also a gray area though. So yeah, so like Leo was saying, made a post today with a clown meme template describing your airsoft gun as a weapon, describing your airsoft gun as lethal, and called out two companies, Novarich and G&G. Just here's the brief takeaway from that is, number one, that's hilarious false advertising, because like none of those, like the G&G ARP whatever that they used is definitely not lethal or deadly unless you plan on bludgeoning someone with it. But then it's like, that's, you can do that with anything, basically, a chair, a hammer,
yeah,
just any blunt object. My direct point to this is that is all just fodder for anti-gun people or people who don't really understand airsoft well enough. Like, let's say you are 11 years old and you're trying to get your parents, no, okay, maybe you're like 13, you're a kid, and you're trying to get your parents to buy you an airsoft gun, and they see these descriptors, this airsoft gun is super lethal, or this is the most deadly airsoft sniper in the world. Like, your parents are immediately going to be turned off. Now, let's say you're someone who doesn't, here, we'll do the flip side of the whole thing. You're a FUD, for lack of a better term, and you see this advertisement for these most silent, deadly gun or whatever, and you go, oh, okay, I'm going to buy this. Oh, wait a minute, this is airsoft. I'm mad. Just those descriptors aren't meant to be used in fun, non-violent, safe games, like projectile games like paintball and airsoft, or bow archery. What is that thing? What are those called again?
Compound bows?
No. The bow and arrow games that like you actually like shoot each other with, and it's got like a rubber tip on it. I think it's just called archery. Oh, archery tag. That's what it's called.
I've never even heard of that. That sounds fun.
Really?
Yeah. Archery tag?
Mm-hmm.
We played that with Node one day, and that was really fun. With those things that were like tall and with the...
Yeah. So if someone was like, hey, let's go do archery tag, I've got the deadliest compound bow for archery tag, you'd be like, whoa, I don't want to play
that game.
I don't want to play archery tag with you. Are you going to kill me? Like, it's just a really bad misconception to describe something that's supposed to be safe and fun. That's the simple point.
Yeah. And we here in California, we've already had to deal, and other states as well on the East Coast have had to already deal with certain states or legislators trying to outlaw airsoft completely. And a big part of that is because they don't understand airsoft, and they see how airsoft is portrayed in the media. And like we were talking earlier about some of the toxic videos that get a lot of exposure, that is bad for airsoft in general. And that is advertising it as deadly or lethal is just a really fast way for us to get airsoft banned, and by people who don't know what the game is about.
Case in point, Senator DeLeon, who's from California, he completely misused, Ghost Gun magazine and clip, and look how much traction that he got. Now imagine that same.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if they're right. It gets shared. It doesn't matter if they're right.
Yeah. So imagine someone using those words that we use, an actual airsoft company used against us. That's my underlying message to everybody is, let's try not to use anything that implicates death with our fun, safe airsoft game.
Yeah, exactly. Tristan Art and Airsoft donated $11. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Airsoft companies are buy bait, airsoft YouTubers clickbait, airsoft sniper YouTuber to kids, sniper bait, more money for Zoe only. We need my channel is Zoe Bait, I guess. But you're right. Like everyone is just trying to bait you into something, and that's how you sell stuff. But we need to be a lot more conscious about how we're selling things, because it can affect our hobby detrimentally, very much so in the long run. Just like someone, let's see, let me scroll back up. Future Phase Pack donated $8. Thank you. Commenting just like Australia with gel guns, which is exactly right. Australia got airsoft completely banned in pretty much the whole country, and now they created gel ball, which is like airsoft, but it's with small. You're basically like shooting gel balls. Really great description, right? out of guns that look like airsoft guns. And and now Australia has also in one state. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
They basically have states.
In one state of Australia, they have banned gel soft also. And so we have to be really, really conscious of how we're promoting our hobby, because we don't want things like that to happen here. And if they are happening other places, it will make its way to us. I promise you.
Now, I'm sure a lot of you actually are watching this from America. And in America, we take things related to guns for granted because we have the Second Amendment. In other countries, gun rights are not as free as they are here in the States.
Yeah.
Let's take Brazil, for instance, where in Brazil, you have to get a real gun license to own an airsoft gun.
Crazy,
and it's like that for a lot of the South American states as well. And so to prevent stuff like that from happening in America, we have to be cognizant of how we're portraying things. And again, portraying or falsely advertising or using words like that is not good for the overall sport / hobby.
Yeah. Word. Hallelujah. Preach. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and I've been streaming for a while now. It says 47 minutes now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up right now. I will go ahead and address Spartan Ops Gaming. What are the New Jersey airsoft laws? So we actually already have some pretty strict airsoft laws in some states. And I do believe it is because of that kind of advertising, the kind of videos that are popular, the media that gets spread. And like in New Jersey, airsoft can be classified as a firearm, which is wild. Jed almost got arrested one time because he had an airsoft gun that he didn't declare, and they were mad about it. And so we had to like convince them, like, no, we're actually like just changing flights. It's not. Anyway, he didn't get arrested, but like he almost did, because he didn't declare his airsoft gun as a firearm, which apparently they want you to do in New Jersey, which is like, airsoft guns are not firearms. Now we should treat them. We should use all the basic firearm safety rules with airsoft guns. Yes, absolutely. We do need to learn and teach firearm safety along with airsoft guns, but we need to stop acting like airsoft guns and firearms are the same thing, because they absolutely are not. One can kill a person, the other one cannot, which is a huge difference. Synthetic Future, thank you for your donation. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, everyone please be responsible with your airsoft replicas or guns.
Please be responsible. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We are going to have dinner. I'm making pasta. I'll show you guys. Since I can't invite you to dinner, I will give you dinner from YouTube. So appreciate everyone who tuned in. Thank you so much, everyone, for the donations. Thank you for the Zoe love. Thanks for hanging out, and everyone hanging out and talking about airsoft. It's cool that we're all kind of on the same page. So like, you guys are the best. You're the greatest. Future Phase Peak. Thanks again. Dang, you're the greatest. So really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And we will see you next time.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, hey, Zoe. Say bye, Zoe.
Bye, Zoe.